Hi everyone. Today we're going to go over the topic of blended learning. I'll talk about the foundations as well as some of the frameworks behind blended learning, and then Karen and Will will talk about guidelines and assessment. If you're interested, check out their videos next. First, I want to take a look at a very simple definition of blended learning.
In a nutshell, blended learning is a mix of face-to-face learning and online instruction. And as long as you have those two things in your teaching, you're doing blended learning. The key is to get the right mix for you and your students. Now, I like to think of blended learning as making ice cream and strawberry dessert. Now, both these two things are really good on their own, but when you mix them together, you get something even better.
As we dive deeper into the definition of blended learning, Garrison and Vaughn write that blended learning is the restructuring of class contact hours with the goal to enhance engagement and extend access to internet-based learning opportunities. Blended learning is about offering the best of both face-to-face and online environments to create a community that fosters inquiry. This setting needs to foster the right community with the right activities at the right time to maximize efficiency, learning, and inquiry. You may be wondering what the heck a community of inquiry is. I know I definitely was. Let's break this definition down into two parts. Community, on one hand, recognizes the social nature of education and the role that interaction, collaboration, and discourse play in actually constructing knowledge. Inquiry reflects the process of constructing meaning through personal responsibility and choice. Combining both of these, a community of inquiry is then a cohesive and interactive community of learners whose purpose is to critically analyze, construct, and confirm worthwhile knowledge. Blended learning can really support this community of inquiry because of the combination of face-to-face and online aspects. You can start to build this community and instill trust in the face-to-face interactions, but because there's no limited time of class in the online space, relationships can continue to grow and expand. Now that we know a little bit more about what blended learning is, let's talk about why we would use blended learning. Garrison and Vaughn talk about the need for more engaged learning activities, which I believe encompasses UDL, which I'll talk about in the next slide, as well as this unique combination of public and private worlds that supports the community of inquiry. While this presentation is not about how blended learning supports UDL, it is important to note that this is one of the perks of blended learning. It has the option to support UDL and the three principles: engagement, representation, and action and expression. A few quick examples would be improving individual choice and autonomy, providing options for perception, and multiple media for communication. In addition to the option for UDL, blended learning offers an interesting mix of the combination of private and public worlds. The online community allows for reflection and to showcase more of our private self, and the face-to-face experience allows that spontaneous nature and relationship building to develop. This unique mesh of public and private worlds is what makes blended learning so special. It is also exactly the thing that challenges it, is to pair the best of both of these worlds, respecting the individual and the community. Let's recap what we've gone over so far. Blended learning aims to provide more engaged learning experiences by offering the best of both face-to-face and online environments. The hope is that this combination creates a community that fosters inquiry. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the community of inquiry framework. The community of inquiry framework is a recursive model in which each of the elements support each other. It consists of social presence, cognitive presence, and teaching presence. We'll go over each of these elements next. Social presence is the concept that students must be able to develop personal relationships that will allow them to pursue and explore academic concepts and goals. This will also contribute to a sense of belonging, which will then allow students to engage in open communication and thoughtful responses. Per Garrison and Vaughn, cognitive presence is a continuous process that encompasses states of puzzlement, information exchange, connection of ideas, creation of concepts, and the testing of the viability of solutions. There is an extremely high level of variability in how this happens and when this happens for each learner, and it cannot be departed from social presence or from teaching presence, which we'll talk about next. Teaching presence provides the design, facilitation, and direction for an educational experience. It's a constant balance between being involved but not being involved to an extent where your learners can't fully engage with the material and each other on their own. It's my hope that by discussing these three presences as well as the community of inquiry, you have a deeper understanding of how to start exploring the cooperation of face-to-face and online learning as it exists in the blended learning space. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today of exploring blended learning. I hope that you now understand the integration of face-to-face and online learning experiences that work in a reflective and collaborative manner to create what we know as blended learning. To learn more about the guidelines as well as the assessment techniques, be sure to check out Karen and Will's presentations. Thank you.